Hi, I'm Rachel Geis and I study environmental science.
Hello, I'm Zoya Pilipovich, and I also study environmental science.
And I'm Maria Liu, studying animal science at the University of Massachusetts Amherst.
And today we'll be talking about how the future depends on renewable energy and why putting an end to fossil fuels is imperative.
Fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, have been our main source of energy since the Industrial Revolution. We use them for electricity generation, to power our businesses, and heat our homes. Ever since the late 19th century, when the first car with an internal combustion engine was able to run on a product of crude oil, what we know today as gasoline, was built, it kickstarted the entire globe's demand for gasoline, allowing the fossil fuel industry to advance as one of the most economically and politically influential in the world.
The Industrial Revolution brought about many important innovations that led to the development of society as we know it today. However, back then we didn't know the detrimental impacts of fossil fuel use that would affect generations to come. If fossil fuel use is continued at an exorbitant rate into the future, there will be rising sea levels, increased storm frequency and strength, increased wildfires, declining water supplies, reduced agricultural yields, and detrimental health impacts.
As we have learned throughout this class, and according to The Guardian, just 100 companies have been the source of more than 70% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions since 1988. And when you look closely at the list of these companies, they can be associated with fossil fuel producers, such as Exxon and Shell. When it comes to the topic of climate change, this statistic should truly speak volumes because it tells us exactly what the problem is.
Climate change is a major issue facing our generation, and the extraction and depletion of these natural resources causes ripple effects that degrade our environment in every aspect. According to an article entitled How Long Before We Run Out of Fossil Fuels from Our World in Data, it was estimated that there are only 114 years left for coal, 53 years for natural gas, and 51 years left for oil. This is clearly not good for the future of our energy supply, as well as the health of our planet, and we may not even be able to use the rest of the supply without raising global temperature past the tipping point. However, switching to renewable energy could be the necessary step needed to reverse or slow down the impacts fossil fuels have on our world.
Although switching completely to renewable energy is still taken as a radical way of thinking, if a change is not made, then our Earth will suffer irreversible and irreparable damages. But the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy can be one that takes place gradually, as well as permanently. Fossil fuels may be tried and true, but renewable energy will be proven more reliable and just as job secure, if not more. According to an article written in 2019 from Forbes.com titled Renewable Energy Job Boom Creates Economic Opportunity as Coal Industry Slumps, E2's recent Clean Job America report found nearly 3.3 million Americans working in clean energy, outnumbering fossil fuel workers by 3 to 1. Clean energy employment grew 3.6% in 2018, adding 110,000 net new jobs, and employers expect a 6% job growth in 2019. Renewable energy is not something to be feared. It is creating more jobs in the coal and fossil fuel industry and will offer both longevity and stability for its workers and patrons. Although the upfront costs look intimidating, after the investments are made, renewable energies make up the initial cost and then some. With great reward comes great change. Our Earth needs a radical change in order to see the improvements we so drastically crave.
Based on the fact that a 4-degree rise in global temperature could have irreversible impacts, we need to fully support renewable energy and push for development and investment to happen sooner because of the rapid depletion of non renewable energy sources, the causative effects of fossil fuel emissions on global warming, and the positive impacts of a transition to renewable energy. The motivation to transition to renewables should not only stem from the concerns of our warming planet or depleting natural resources, but because we want to love and preserve the gift of beauty that the earth has given us. There is no other place in this universe that shares the same colors as the rainbow mountains of Peru or the kingdom-like corals in the waters of Australia, coral reefs in the waters of Australia. In other words, there is no planet B.
The collaboration between the three of us has been better than any other project we worked on this semester. We're able to get our work done by our set deadlines whilst also making connections with each other that were seemingly impossible due to our restrictions from the pandemic. Not only did we make a finished product that we are extremely proud of, but we also made two new friends and created a support system throughout the project.
Some questions that you guys can think about are, what are some steps that you are willing to take to reduce your own carbon emissions? And would you invest in renewable energy given what you know now? Thanks.
Thank you.
Woo!